and lockdown. And due to this lockdown, our Indian economy is supposed to face many challenges, including poverty, unemployment, decrease in government income, and so on. Therefore, in order to get an insightful knowledge of these challenges, this webinar is organized. So, I would
सलीम म्यूट
like
का
to
बटन है ना, जो
welcome
क्रॉस लगा इस पे क्लिक कर देना
our
जब
Honorable
आपको
Vice
खुला होगा।
Chancellor, Professor R.K.
ये जो
Gupta,
सामने निशान आ रहा है ना कैमरा माइक का, देखो
our Project
अजय बोलो ना
दिख
Director,
रहा है आपके, एक सब ने देखो लिया होगा।
our
यस आशिमा
Project
प्लीज
जहाँ
Director,
जहाँ डिस्प्ले आ रहा है सबके डिस्प्ले।
अजय आपकी आवाज आ रही, प्लीज
आप
इंटरप्ट ना
देखो।
करो बीच में। यस प्लीज आशिमा कैरी ऑन।
I would like to welcome our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor R.K. Gupta, our Project Director, Sri Suresh Gupta, our Convener Webinar and Director, School of Management, Professor Vishal Kumar, and our eminent speakers of the day, Professor Adi Sharma, Mr. Deepak Kansal, and Professor Ajay Sharma. Now, I would request our Organizing Secretary and Head of Department of Management, Maharaja Agrasen University, Dr. Ranbir Singh, to kindly speak a few words on the theme of the webinar.
Thank you, Ashima. Very good morning to one and all present here. My name is Dr. Ranveer Singh, Organizing Secretary, Webinar, and Head of Management Department. I feel highly privileged on this wonderful morning to welcome you all on this great occasion of webinar on the theme, How to Revive Indian Economy Post-Lockdown, Issues and Challenges. At the outset, I would like to welcome and extend my gratitude to the Honorable Vice Chancellor, Maharaja Agrasen University, Professor R.K. Gupta, Shri Suresh Gupta ji, Project Director, Maharaja Agrasen University, Dr. Vishal Kumar, Convener Webinar and Director, Maharaja Agrasen School of Management. And our esteemed speakers of the day, Dr. R.D. Sharma, Mr. Deepak Kansal, and Dr. Ajay Sharma. The prime objective of this webinar is to bring renowned professionals, researchers, academicians, industrialists, and scholars working in India and abroad on a common platform to share their valuable opinions on various post-lockdown issues and challenges of Indian economy. The speakers will discuss and highlight various post-lockdown issues and challenges in reviving the Indian economy. That is, infrastructure, systems, rural economy, agriculture, and industrial policies of Government of India. I'm sure that the participants must be benefited by attending this webinar and learn new aspects of economy. I thank everyone again for being with us this morning. It's been a great pleasure. Thank you very much. Now, I would like to invite Dr. Vishal Kumar, convener webinar and director Maharaja Agrasen School of Management, to deliver welcome address and share his valuable views on webinar. Thanks again. Over to Dr. Vishal.
विशाल सर अनम्यूट करो।
Sir, you are not audible. Please unmute.
विशाल सर अनम्यूट योर माइक।
Is it audible now?
Yes, sir.
Audible.
Please
Yes.
carry on, please.
Okay. Dignitaries of today's event, Professor R.K. Gupta, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Maharaja Agrasen University, Shri Suresh Gupta, Project Director of the University, Professor R.D. Sharma, former Vice Chancellor, University of Jammu, and former Vice Chancellor, Noida International University, Mr. Deepak Kansal, Managing Director, Exim Ventures Private Limited, Professor Ajay Sharma, Principal, Shri Aurobindo College of Commerce and Management, Ludhiana. Participants from various states of India, faculty of the School of Management, research scholars, and my dear students, a very good morning to all of you. At the very outset, on behalf of Maharaja Agrasen University, I welcome you all in this national webinar on how to revive Indian economy post-lockdown issues and challenges. By seeing the seriousness of this pandemic, Prime Minister Narendra Modi announced 21 days lockdown on 24th March and said, "Jaan hai to jahan hai." That is, health is wealth. And second time, when the PM extended the lockdown on 14th April, he said, "Jaan bhi aur jahan bhi." That is, lives as well as livelihoods. So it was a clear message to start the economic activities while keeping the virus in check. We have completed almost 2 months in this lockdown, but the economic turbulence is beyond our imagination. The World Bank and credit rating agencies have downgraded India's growth for fiscal year 2021 with the lowest figures India has seen in 3 decades since the liberalization policy of 1990. The former chief economic advisor to the government of India has said that India should prepare for negative growth rate in financial year 2021 within a 2 months. Unemployment rose from 6.7% to 23.75% as on yesterday, 19th May. During this lockdown, an estimated 14 crore people have lost their employment. You know, more than 45% households across the nation have reported an income drop as compared to the previous year. No doubt, the government has announced a relief package of 20 lakh crore rupees, which is 10% of the GDP, but still, there is a long way to go. I'm sure worthy speakers of the day will throw light on the topic and give us new insights to revive the economy. I, being the director of School of Management, once again welcome you all and assure that healthy discussions will definitely open new vistas to revive the economy. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your stimulating speech and encouraging words. Now, I would request our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor R.K. Gupta, to kindly speak a few words on today's event. Over to you, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Yes, sir.
Shri Suresh Gupta ji, project director, Professor R.D. Sharma, Shri Deepak Kansal, Dr. Ajay Sharma, Dr. Vishal, director of the institute, and other participants for this web seminar. I am very happy to know that that our Department of School of Management has organized such a web seminar for the first time, which we can't imagine. It is the all contribution of Dr. Vishal, who has taken an initiative and launched this web seminar on how to revive Indian economy post lockdown issues and challenges. Now this corona, if we look, ये जो बीमारी कोरोना की आई है, इसने हमारे सारे देश की व्यवस्था को उथल पुथल कर दिया है। चाहे इसमें छोटा व्यापारी हो, चाहे इसमें बड़ा व्यापारी हो, चाहे इसमें कोई प्रोफेशनल है, चाहे इसमें कोई टीचर्स हैं, चाहे यूनिवर्सिटीज हैं, चाहे स्कूल्स हैं, कॉलेजेस हैं, everyone is involved in this and is affected by this coronavirus. अब इससे इकोनॉमी के ऊपर बहुत ज़्यादा इफेक्ट पड़ा है, जिसको रिवाइव करने के लिए कम से कम लगता है कि 1 वर्ष हमें लग जाएगा कि इस इकोनॉमी को इसी स्टेप के ऊपर लाने के लिए। ना प्राइम मिनिस्टर साहब ने अभी 20 लाख करोड़ का जो पैकेज दिया है, इससे उम्मीद है कि हमारी कॉटेज इंडस्ट्री, स्मॉल इंडस्ट्री, मीडियम इंडस्ट्रीज और एम्प्लॉयमेंट को प्रमोशन मिलेगी, बट स्टिल इट विल टेक ए लॉन्ग टाइम टू रिवाइव द होल इकोनॉमी। अभी हमारा वर्ल्ड के अंदर WHO इंडिया को डिक्लेयर कर दिया है, जिससे प्राइम मिनिस्टर इज द चेयरमैन फॉर WHO, which will also boost the economy in the times to come. I am very happy that the leading speakers like R.D. Sharma, Dr. Ajay Sharma, and then Deepak Kansal from industry are involved in this participation. So I wish all the success for this best seminar for this today's program. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your wonderful thoughts and blessings. Now, I would like to invite and request our project director, Sri Suresh Gupta, to kindly speak few words and give his blessings.
आदरणीय, सुन रहे हैं? आवाज आ रही है क्या?
आ रही है।
हमारे वाइस चांसलर आदरणीय गुप्ता जी, हमारे गेस्ट जो आज के इस वेबिनार में हिस्सा ले रहे हैं, एक्स वीसी जम्मू यूनिवर्सिटी और दीपक कंसल जी, अजय शर्मा जी, हमारे डायरेक्टर मैनेजमेंट विशाल, रणवीर और दूसरे सीनियर जूनियर फैकल्टी मेंबर्स जो पार्टिसिपेट कर रहे हैं, और बाकी पूरे हिंदुस्तान से जगह जगह से हमारे रिसर्च स्कॉलर्स, स्टूडेंट्स और जो लोग इसमें लाइव देख भी रहे होंगे, सुन भी रहे होंगे, पार्टिसिपेट भी कर रहे हैं, सभी को बहुत बहुत बधाई कि वो इस वेबिनार का हिस्सा हैं। और बहुत ही बढ़िया आज के सिनेरियो के अंदर बहुत ही बढ़िया टॉपिक विशाल जी ने सिलेक्ट किया, और इसके ऊपर जो मंथन आज इसमें वेबिनार में होगा, भगवान करे उससे कुछ ना कुछ, मैं तो ये चाहता हूँ अगर 2% भी आज के इस वेबिनार से कोई एक भी चीज़ अगर हमारी जनता की, हमारे लोगों की समझ में आ जाए और उससे कोई राष्ट्र का भला हो, तो इससे अच्छी कोई बात नहीं हो सकती। मैं एक दो चीज़ें आपसे शेयर करना चाहता हूँ। आज की डेट में जो चारों तरफ इंडस्ट्री वाला परेशान है कि उसको लेबर कहाँ से मिलेगी, और लेबर वाले भागे जा रहे हैं बिहार, यूपी और न जाने कहाँ कहाँ सब भागे जा रहे हैं। मुझे ये समझ में नहीं आया आज तक कि जो लोग कहते हैं हमको खाने को नहीं है, इधर से गवर्नमेंट की एजेंसियां कहती है हम 10 लाख का डेली को खाना खिला रहे हैं, कोई कह रहा है मैं 70 लाख लोगों को राशन दे रहा हूं। मैं एक आपको दिल्ली का एग्जांपल दे रहा हूं, मैं दिल्ली में बैठा हूं, यहीं पर लॉकडाउन में हेल्ड अप हूं। तो इसके अंदर अरविंद केजरीवाल जी परसों कह रहे थे 70 लाख लोगों को मैं राशन दे रहा हूं, 10 लाख लोगों को मैं डेली भोजन दे रहा हूं, दैट मीन्स 80 लाख। और उसके अलावा आप यहाँ की जो पॉपुलेशन देखेंगे, जो सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट एम्प्लॉय, दिल्ली गवर्नमेंट के एम्प्लॉय, दिल्ली कॉरपोरेशन के एम्प्लॉयज़, सिक्योरिटी फोर्सेस दिल्ली के अंदर जो जमा है इतनी, और जो बाकी और सारे गवर्नमेंट का जो जितना भी इसमें गवर्नमेंट सर्विस क्लास है, टोटल मिलाकर के अगर आप फिगर देखेंगे, जो व्यापारी लोग हैं, जिन लोगों के अपने यहाँ लाखों लाखों मकान बने हुए हैं, क्या वो सबके सब भूखे मर रहे हैं क्या? ये फिगर कहीं से आप, क्योंकि सारे के सारे मैनेजमेंट के बुद्धिजीवी लोग हैं, मैनेजमेंट से रिलेटेड सारे लोग हैं, कहीं कुछ हमें नजदीक की ही नहीं लग रही किसी भी चीजों की।
हेडफोन दियो।
एक आदमी जो दिल्ली का चीफ मिनिस्टर है वो कह रहा है मैं 7,500 रुपये उनके खातों में डाल रहा हूँ, 5,000 में ड्राइवर के खातों में डाल रहा हूँ। अरे भले आदमियों, ये कैलकुलेशन कहाँ जाएगी? दिल्ली की पॉपुलेशन की जितने 20-30 लाख यहाँ पर गवर्नमेंट सर्वेंट्स हैं, उनके 4-4 लोगों की फैमिली भी अगर लगाओगे तो ये फिगर कहाँ जाएगी? क्या वो सारे वहाँ उसकी रोटी खाने की लाइन में लगे हुए हैं क्या? तो इसलिए ये सारी चीजें देखते हुए अब आफ्टर लॉकडाउन जो आपका
Sorry, sir, we are
टॉपिक है,
not agree with you on this point. Sorry.
हेलो हेलो, कौन इसमें इंटरप्ट कर रहे हैं? अभी उसके अलावा मैं आपको जो आपका टॉपिक है, टॉपिक के ऊपर मैं आपको एक अपनी सजेशन दे रहा हूं। आफ्टर लॉकडाउन, चाहे वो वाइस चांसलर ऑफ द यूनिवर्सिटी है, चाहे डायरेक्टर है, चाहे हमारा पीएन है, हम सबको मिल करके अपना यही करना पड़ेगा कि मेहनत रात दिन करके अपने आप को एस्टैब्लिश करना है। अपने जो हमारे जो जिम्मेदारियां हैं उनको पूरी तरह निर्वहन करते हुए, और हिंदुस्तान की इकोनॉमी को जो अभी ये हाल्ट जो ब्रेक आ गया है, इसमें से हमको निकल करके बाहर निकलना है। ऐसे ही किसी भी फील्ड के क्यों ना हो, कोई भी फील्ड में कोई हमारे काम करने वाले क्यों ना हो, वो जब तक ये नहीं सोचेंगे जो पैसे हमको मिल रहे हैं उस पैसे का मुझे कुछ ना कुछ वापस लौटाना है एम्प्लॉयर को, तब जा करके सब लोग मिलजुल करके, ना एम्प्लॉय अपने आप को एम्प्लॉय समझे, ना वाइस चांसलर अपने आप को वाइस चांसलर समझे, हम सब मिल करके एक ही किश्ती के अंदर सवार हैं। अगर यूनिवर्सिटी सही चलेगी, अगर आपकी फैक्ट्रियां सही चलेंगी, आपकी दुकानें सही चलेंगी, आपके कारोबार सही चलेंगे, उसके जितने कार्यकर्ता हैं सब मिलजुल करके बढ़िया माहौल के अंदर इस काम को आगे बढ़ाएं। मेरी यही सभी से अपेक्षा है, उम्मीद है, सभी को एडवाइस है। जय हिंद, जय भारत। मैं अपनी बात को यहीं विराम देता हूँ। थैंक यू
सर, थैंक यू सर।
Thank you so much, sir, for your enlightening insight. I would request our attendees to kindly mute themselves and keep their videos off to have an informational experience through this webinar. Or if you are having any queries, you can drop your questions in the conversation box and we will take them up at the end of the session. So now I feel privileged to welcome our worthy key speaker of the day, Professor R.D. Sharma, former Vice Chancellor of Jammu University and former Vice Chancellor at Noida University. Before proceeding further, I would like to share his brief profile. Professor R.D. Sharma has wide-ranging rich experience of teaching, research of extension in business, education, and administrative experience at different levels. Professor R.D. Sharma joined teaching profession in 1980, became Reader of Commerce in 1987, and Professor of Commerce in 1994. He has till date published 12 books, 122 research papers, and 962 citations. He has also worked on the various academic positions, and some of them are former Vice Chancellor at Jammu University, former Vice Chancellor at Noida University, Fulbright Visiting Profession of Business Administration USA, Chairman Jammu and Kashmir Board of Professional Entrance Examination. Besides active participation in the academic deliberations at different occasions in Nepal, China, Bhutan, South Korea, Professor R.D. Sharma has also addressed the audience quite frequently in different academic meets at several universities. So now I would request Professor R.D. Sharma to kindly start the webinar and share his valuable opinion with us. Sir, kindly unmute yourself.
Hello.
Anji,
Yes,
sir.
sir, it is audible now.
Yeah, you are audible, sir, now.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Ashma Gupta. Honorable Vice Chancellor Professor R.K. Gupta ji, Professor Vishal ji, Professor Suresh Gupta ji, Shri Deepak Kansal Saab, Managing Director, Exim, Professor Ajay Sharma ji, Principal Shri Aurobindo College of Commerce and Management, Shri Ranveer Singh ji, and members of the organizing team and participants from different parts of the country. First of all, I really feel grateful to the university, to the organizing committee for giving me the opportunity to be with you on this wonderful webinar for some time. How to revive the economy post COVID-19 issues and challenges. The topic is quite wide. It is not yet post COVID-19, yet we are passing through. So virtually during COVID-19 and thereafter. And the situation before us is within 2 months that this such a Mahamari, which started from China, has threatened the whole world. About 200 countries, including industrially, economically top nations like USA, Russia, Spain, Brazil, UK, France, Germany, Turkey, Iran, facing a lot of challenges. And till date, not in a position to come out of this Mahamari, this bigger problem. The topmost nation, richly, economically and industrially developed nation, perhaps ever thought of such a helplessness, suffering the most. And the situation in India is also very tough. We may say that compared with those nations, the number of infected may not be that high, but still increasing. Today it has gone more than 1,07,000. However, we can say our recovery rate is equally high. It is about 40%, 38, 39%. Hello. Hello. Am I audible? Hello.
Yes, sir, you are audible now.
Yes, sir.
So for how long I remain unaudible?
Sir, for last 1 minute.
Okay. Fine. So I was just summarizing that the threat the world is facing, that the top nations, industrially and economically developed nations, suffering too much. And on the top of it, USA has suffered the maximum. And India is also facing the heat. But compared with the rest of the world and industrially, economically advanced nation, we may say that because of timely actions, strategic actions, lockdowns of about 2 months, we are in a position to control something in terms of data also. Then when we say that so far, the number of infected people reached about 1,07,000. But we say our recovery rate is quite high. High compared with many nations. It is touching 40%. And death rate is also very low, which is about 0.2 per lakh, which is about 3,000 today. But just because of this lockdown of about 2 months, the economy really got shattered. All economic activities, industrial activities shattered. And now it has to be revived. And this is the basic purpose that the seminar, this webinar is being organized. And see the kind of efforts during the lockdown and still continuing. In brief, that we have already borrowed billions of dollars from World Bank and International Monetary Fund, just to face it. We have also gone into the reserve of RBI because of that economic compulsion. And the economic pressures became so much that for the time being, the center even couldn't pass on the share of states in GST, because that is also being spent for support to the economy, but it has to be passed on, of course. Biggest challenge just during this lockdown, one after the other, we are facing. Among those challenges, the biggest one is arranging the return of stranded migrant workers in different spots of the country. And not only that, arranging their return, even to feed them along with the economy. So see these challenges, unless they are protected, how we can think of reviving the economies? And workers who have contributed too much, foundation for the industry, so their return had to be arranged. And people are saying, just Suresh ji was mentioning that how this number is coming from. Sometime that Kejriwal saying 70% people they are feeding, so much ration they are distributing, so many people they are getting money deposited into their account. The number, how, from where that number is, unimaginable number. Of course, this was not planned. It happens in an unplanned situation of such a far-reaching implications when it could not be pre-planned. So number is not registered. Of course, the Jan Dhan Yojana, where accounts opened and money going to them, there is no question of leakage. But as far as arranging food, arranging transport for unorganized number, unimaginable number, that exact number not possible. And we have to forget for that matter, because it is our responsibility to support this kind of mankind. So this is an indication that India has the courage to revive the economy and protect the contributors who are contributing the most to the economy. And recently, PMO also floated a new trust, keeping in view the limited resources with the Treasury, with the RBI, and also not going for every time for the loans from International Monetary Fund and World Bank. So PM Care funds that also created, and huge donation coming from the industry, well-meaning people. But at the same time, you find PSUs and even private sector companies, right? They are not paying wages to the employees on time. They're postponing the payment. Private sectors also indulging in wage cuts and retrenchment of the employees, despite the advisory from different quarters, and particularly from the Prime Minister with a folded hand that for some time the employees should be taken care of. Let it be gradually and slowly be taken care of. But because of the economic compulsions, these organizations are doing it. So much so, see the contribution from the government employees, well-meaning institutions. Their employees are contributing 1 day's salary to this cause. Of course, solution very tough, already announced, no doubt. And it is in the form of recently announced 20 lakhs crores financial support to develop infrastructure, the rural sector, industrial sector, small scale sector, cottage and village industries. And it is in the form of course, a support to revive the economy. So there are quarters who have been asking a release of direct money, but that becomes much more unproductive unless it is linked with the kind of activities for which it is being financed, like emergency borrowing and credit facility for businesses, particularly MSMEs, 3 lakhs crores. Subordinate debt for stressed MSCs passing through huge sickness, 20,000 crores. Additional funds to again MSMEs, that is micro, small, medium enterprises, again 50,000 additional. EPF support, employees provident support, again that is for the welfare of the workers. It has to be contributed by the employers. So when there is a reduction by the employers, government is supporting. A reduction in the rates that interest they get, that is also being taken care of by the government during this through this package. Special liquidity scheme for the financial institution, 30,000 crores. Partial credit guarantee schemes for liabilities, 45,000 crores. And similarly, to the honest taxpayers, that whose tax deducted at source, and some financial support being extended to the industry, that the honest taxpayer be supported, and in whatever form they can be supported, that already given by the finance ministers. So 50,000 crores out of this package. And similarly, such a huge labor force for some time, because they are going to their home villages, and now they need employment there only. And during the time that they are unemployed, so free food, and at least for 2 months it is to be arranged. So 3,005 crores earmarked in this package. Street vendors, small traders, hawkers, how they can be supported? That is 5,000 crores. But of course, not straight with the cash, as many people from many quarters, maybe because of certain reason, political reasons, they are asking the release of cash. It has to be accountable. Whatever contribution, financial support is given must be put into action and productivity oriented. Housing, for example, 70,000 crores. And similarly, food micro enterprises, that hoteliers, restaurant holders, 10,000 crores. Even the industrial activities that is at the bottom level, those who are engaged in Matsya Palan, that is Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana, 20,000 crores. So people in the coastal areas. Agriculture infrastructure, huge financial support available for irrigation, for other basic equipments, 1 lakh crores. Animal husbandry, of course, lays a foundation for animal stock, 15,000 crores. And promotion of herbal cultivations, 4,000 crores. And the activities at the small scale level, at the grassroots level, village level, wherever it is possible, beekeeping initiatives, 500 crores. And then wherever viability gap still exists, so 8,000 crore, 8,100 crores. And as I told you, as long as people do not get the work in the villages that workers they are going, they are to be given employment. So employment generation through and rural development guarantee. So 40,000 crores. So till they come back to the industry, till they get some other sources of livelihood, industrial activity, till they reach to be employed there gainfully. So immediate employment generation through this project, 40,000 crores. Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir, it is audible.
Okay, thank you. Now, question arises, such a huge fund, 20 lakhs crores. If you see the date, it is becoming about 21 lakh, 20 lakh plus 20 lakh. 21 lakh crores the package announced by the Prime Minister. Different quotes. From where this money comes, very, very important issue for the academy. The space to understand, after all, we can't print currency. The moment we need it, it has to be flexibly arranged. The government of India can go for borrowing from the domestic market, can also take out of the funds from Reserve Bank of India. After all, there is also a limit, or can raise sovereign granted debt international financial market. And these are the various sources, of course. The only point to be emphasized here that it must prove to be productive. And India can do it. How India can do it, there are certain indications. And one of the indication is that Indian economy is running on current account deficit. Current account deficit. Of course, trade balance is not in our favor, but it is not that large. Keeping that point is very, very important. And that is why the mantra PM announced, we have to be self-reliant. We have to control import and encourage export. But doesn't mean if exports do not increase, because we are the exports not significantly influencing our economy. It is a domestic industrial output. It is agriculture output. It is service sector output. The contribution of these sectors, service is contributing about 2/3 of GDP, followed by the industry, and last being contributed by the agriculture because of the industrial revolution. But that situation at the moment is very challenging. It has to be revived. And it is, of course, announced by the Prime Minister also, and quite logical for academicians and industrialists and practitioners. I expect that other speakers would definitely look into these 4 or 5 pillars of the economy. And the answer lies is, our economy is very large. We were planning to take it during next 4 years to the 5 trillion economy. Of course, that target not nearby available, but it has to be reversed because our economy, the population, the demand for industry, and second component or second pillar for the same is strengthening the infrastructure. And you have seen the infrastructure over a period of time. Of course, if I take you to the history, soon after independence, that we decided to have a planned era. and we introduced 5-year plans. Except a few years during 67, 68, 69, annual plans, the rest of the period remained under planned era. And that planned era has given us the result. And it is because of that kind of our history, our success stories in running the economy that really motivates and inspires our governance, that we are in a position to develop the infrastructure and revive the economy. Just for example, if not a similar but very tough situation of the similar kind figured in late 80s and early 90s. And particularly if I quote a specific time when late Shri Chandrasekhar ji was the Prime Minister, at that time because of the India being under debt, international debt, was almost declared, though not declared, but almost likely to be declared bankrupt, because we had just $1.5 billion foreign exchange in our reserve. And that was not enough to meet our demand for petrol and petroleum products, only one component of which that time not available in plenty in India. So we had to at that time keep the whole gold of Reserve Bank of India with bank in UK and get the financial support. And equally forceful, another action plan came up, and specifically I let you know, I understand majority of the participants, they are academicians, and they understand that we had to open the economy. Though we opened the economy right from the very beginning, from the plan era in 1950s, but that was very slow and gradual. Initially, focus was agriculture, then shifted to the industry, and then shifted to the service. But it was not complete opening of the economy like China did it in late 1970s. So we started opening up the economy in early 90s. And that we got in the package of economic reforms during the time of Prime Minister late Shri P.V. Narasimha Rao ji, that time Finance Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh ji. And there is no other solution except to such economic reforms, strengthening industry, strengthening banking sectors, and building infrastructure. And you know, thereafter, whichever political parties came up, maybe alliance government till now, none of those governments were in a position to reverse the ongoing economic reforms. So this is the solution to revive the economy. We have to bring in the reform. Sometimes reforms abruptly, if introduced, may cause certain problems. And during such a time, such type of trouble may come up, as it happened recently in some of the states. For example, in UP, that they had to double the working hours for the workers. And people went in the Supreme Court of India. Of course, we had check and balances. We have enlightened politics and at the same time, very good judiciary too. And because of the advice from different quarters, those laws were withdrawn. So economic reforms with precautions. And similarly, the third component is technology-driven system. And our technology really coming to our rescue. See, when for academics, these meetings not possible, we are arranging meeting online. This webinar going to be very, very useful, not only to the society at large, but to our students, to our younger faculty members who are not in a position to attend the classes and deliver the lectures. And whatever findings, as Suresh was mentioning, come up will become the basis for ongoing process. Hello, am I getting? Hello?
Yes, sir, it is audible, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. So that is technology-driven system, and that has to be strengthened. And similarly, as Prime Minister suggested, that next pillar is very important pillar for reviving the economy is our demography. That we have large population, that is young population, energetic population, visionary population. So they have to be strengthened. They have to be taught and trained. and the concept of just going for jobs no more relevant. It is question of entrepreneurship. So here comes the role of the educational institution for strengthening this pillar, that all other educational programs must be project-based, sponsored programs, linked with the internship, on-the-job training, and whatever way that we are in a position to contribute simultaneously while studying, also contributing to the industry. For example, a graduation of 3 years or post-graduation of 2 years, if one of the semesters or less than a semester is devoted to the project, and project is not to be carried on at home or library or just in any source from internet, etc., getting attached with an industrial unit, understanding their difficulties and conducting the survey, identifying their demand potentials, and because of what they are not in a position to compete with the rest of the competitors. And that on the spot studies, not only inspiring and encouraging the students and faculty members also updating, but a direct contribution to the system. And when they really come out of these courses, those who really train them or with whom they work for a semester, and those who have already given some exciting results to the industry, to the unit, they would be employed, as being done in great institutions. So we have to adopt that model today. It is being done in IIM, IITs, and also in some of the institutions. In the universities, we have about 900 plus universities and about 41,000 colleges. And just imagine if the courses we are running catering to the needs of large number of students linked with entrepreneurship, and initiatives, of course, come up automatically. And last but not the least pillar for reviving the economy is meeting the existing demand and creating the demand. And this process is an ongoing process. Of course, demand is an ongoing process, and it is combination of virtually 3 factors: that needs and desires unfulfilled, and their ability to pay, and at the same time willingness to buy. And at the moment people have the needs, only thing is their ability to pay affected negatively. So possibility of providing the products at cheaper prices, and this is the creativity expected from the industry. And in that respect, the students, the academicians, and industry, of course, all stakeholders, educational institutions, no more the monopoly of teachers teaching these subjects, should be linked with the industry. Industry become important and integral part of the educational system to train the manforce. And see, there are success stories before you. And what are those success stories in the past? They didn't have much with them when they started their ventures. Those are inspiring examples. Have you heard of Amul? Amul is very indigenous type of a cooperative society when it was set up long back in Gujarat. Who came forward to set up this society in a cooperative sector? It was a group of such people who were not that literate, who were just producing the milk and distributing on their own. And one day they thought of, why not to do it in an organized and planned way? And they did it. They joined together, appointed some people who collected and processed it, and another set of functionaries to distribute it. And gradually today you find Amul has become Indian multinational corporation from a group of people who were illiterate, who were just milk producers. And do you think that was lesser tough as compared to the situation we are facing to revive the economy? Similarly, you have heard of Lijjat Papad. Is it not a domestic product known everywhere in the country? From where it came? It also came from a small group of ladies. They joined together, organized themselves, and slowly and gradually from very bottom level, today became a national product. I just give the example to my participants and youngsters particularly, that they might have heard of the name of Dhirubhai Ambani. See his history. He was just like a factory worker, working in a petrol pump for others. Got an idea. And from the very bottom, at the lowest level, having no financial support to set up, and today see that that unit has become empire, can feed even significantly for some time the Indian economy too, though they are contributing in their own manner. What I'm saying is, see their turnover. Of course, economy has affected them also negatively, but they are the professional. Similarly, another example, success example I can cite, that how it has happened, that is Patanjali. Now, if you know the history of who started Patanjali, Baba Ramdev and Balkrishna, Acharya Balkrishna, two people, and only sannyasis who were working, and they had just bicycles, and they were selling products door to door on cycle, and just on the missionary mode, that charitable trust they have set up, that whatever comes up, it is to be reinvested. Profits only for charity. That mission is also available in the country. And today it has become a challenge. Where top class products like toothpaste, their market taken away, of course, with the missionary mode. So here I close with one conclusion, what I understand is that we have quite strong pillars. What is important is political will. And at the moment, the government is strong, elected for 5 years, and also in the immediate past 5 years, the same government. So it has shown the stability, political stability. No more alliance type of government. Though alliance government is also not bad, because it has also worked in many parts of the country and in the center also, but some kind of instability, uncertainty in the industry, that also shakens their confidence. So that political will. So here comes the role of enlightened population, enlightened opposition, enlighten other components of the system. And as you know, the recent pronouncement by the judiciary is an indication that the management of the economy, the governance system is very much strong and on the right path. Thank you very much. I complete here. Thank you. So nice of you.
Wonderful, sir. Wonderful lecture, sir. Wonderful session.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your knowledge with us. We are amazed and feel privileged to have you here. Now, we are taking few questions from our attendees. The first one is, what will be the impact of lockdown on employment in unorganized sector?
Of course, we have already seen the evidence. It is an increasing, and just figure was quoted, I think, who quoted? Vishalji quoted perhaps. So it has gone 23% today. That is the part of the game. You can't help it. And it is because of this reason the economy has to be open. So people first, they were enlightened how to keep them safe and save others. And when they are enlightened and quite confident to revive the economy, so this unemployment has to be taken care of. Employment has to be generated. And see the contribution government has already made. 40,000 crores additional money given to unemployed workers in the form of Mahatma Gandhi Rural Guarantee program project, that people, they have gone to their villages, let that employment be generated there for building the road, for other rural infrastructure. So unemployment, but of course the unemployment among the youth, educated people, now they have to understand government cannot create jobs as clerk or teachers or other kind of jobs endlessly. Now they have to learn entrepreneurship, and entrepreneurship is like those Gujars. They could organize themselves and brought before a model, Amul. So that is the solution, that unemployment coming up has to be taken care of.
Thank you, sir, for such a detailed answer and having us understand the situation better. The next is how service sector will be revived as its contribution to GDP is almost 60%.
Yes. Service sector over a period of time, which used to be third position, because major contribution when we got independence used to come from agriculture, followed by industry, and then service. So less than 1/3. Today it has reached about 2/3. That has to be revived. And whether it is tourism, hotel industry, transportation, banking, insurance, and there are indications, for example, banking sector, insurance sector, financial sector, that government of India has pumped too much money to support them, extend them enough financial support. So what is important is that entrepreneurs in tourism, in hotel industry, naturally their contribution is very important. But immediately, since because of lockdown, people cannot, tourists not available. What to talk of foreign tourists? You don't have even the local tourists. And that has to be taken. We have to accept the reality. We have to live with this pressure on the service sector. But there is a silver lining to revive the same gradually.
Thank you so much, sir, for your answer.
Proceed now, Ashima.
Yes, sir. Now, I would like to invite our eminent speaker, Mr. Deepak Kansal, to kindly share his valuable views on today's topic. Before proceeding further, I would like to share his brief profile. Mr. Deepak Kansal is presently working as Chairman and Managing Director of Zeen Ventures Private Limited, Mohali, Punjab, and having 20 years of vast experience. The company is a flagship company of rupees 500 crore group, pan-India presence at 150 plus locations, and 15,000 plus resources of different teams are working on the role of Z. It is the fastest growing company in the verticals of HR, IT, training, and assessment. Mr. Kansal is having high administrative ability and high proficiency in operations, finance, marketing, and business development. With that, I ask all our attendees to kindly listen to our eminent speaker, Dr. Kansal. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon. Respected Mr. Gupta, Vice Chancellor Saab, Mr. Suresh Gupta ji, and Professor R.D. Sharma, Dr. Ajay Sharma, faculty members and research scholars, and all the participants. I'm thankful to the organizers, Vishal sir particularly, for inviting me to this webinar at the time of lockdown. When this lockdown started, I never thought that we'll be, interacting via this kind of technology-driven systems. So we just, it is beyond my imagination. We are connected globally now. Earlier it was a constraint, traveling to one place to another place. Now we can connect globally. We have done so many interfaces during last couple of months to talk to other people, to learn, to listen to eminent personalities like Professor R.D. Sharma, as well, taking views from all the verticals of the society. When there was this lockdown, we have resumed working. As you can all see, I'm in my office and we are properly functioning. We are working. And we are working since 1st of May 2020. I mean, almost 19 days, maybe 20 days back, we resumed working when government allowed us with 33% of staff. So I decided that let me come out and do some work. I saw everyone working, I saw police people, they were on the streets to take care of us, provide security personnel, doctors, nurses, paramedical staff, of course. They are, as all of us now, we believe that they are gods. So they are also working in such a manner, they were working. So I also thought that what should I contribute? Some people suggested that you should contribute in PM Care Fund and all. I thought that how much money can I give? Maybe 1 lakh, 5 lakh, or maybe 10 lakhs from the organization. So that would not have been the real contribution. According to me, industry is the real pillar for all these services to happen. If we have to pay to the doctors, if we have to pay to the police, if we have to pay to the security personnel across near the borders, if we have to see that all transport facilities and other facilities are functioning, we have to see that all PPE masks and other kits or medicines are being imported from other countries, or maybe all the government total functionality is being run properly, then from where the money would come? Actually, what is the source of income for the whole of the country? That is the industry. The taxes being paid, or like people like you, many people might have been paying taxes. That is the only source of income. So if we stop functioning, industry stop working, then how would the government is going to have its income, like GST or many incomes we were earlier generating for them? The first thing I did, I started on 1st of May. I came alone to my office. There were a couple of office boys staying here only in my office. I gave them confidence. I thought that the leader of the team should be at the front end to actually showcase that, yes, there is nothing to, we need not to be worried. We need not to be in the state of panic. We need to be careful. That's the only thing which I heard from this, I understood from this whole COVID pandemic. From the day one, everyone was in panic. Everyone was in shock. I spoke to a couple of my office people. They were not even coming out of their houses. It was locked completely. Of course, outside coming out from the house, it was not permissible and advisable. But of course, not like in the state of panic that they are going to die even if they talk on phone. I don't know. They were not even interacting. They were in the state of shock. So a couple of days later, I started talking to all my team members, giving them confidence and making them busy. That was what I did. And when I gave them an example, when we cross the road, are we in the state of panic, or we are in the state of precautionary? We are taking precautionary measures. We are in the state of what do you call that? We are taking some remedial actions, disciplinary measures. We are looking here and there to see that we are safe while crossing the road. So we are not in the state of panic at that time. We are not afraid. We are careful. So the COVID is also the same. We shall not be in the state of panic. We shall not be afraid of it. We shall be careful. We shall be taking all the precautions mentioned by many experts as well as the government. We shall maintain the social distance. This is what I have heard. So we started working. I am again coming back to that same old thing. And in the lockdown also, just a thing to share with you, all of you, because majority good things about the government initiatives have been shared by Professor R.D. Sharma. So I'll share some of my experiences during this lockdown period with all of you to make it, let's learn out of it. So on 29th of March, I got an order from UP government, UP Power Department. We were supposed to employ some 2,500 resources in the different districts of UP. The districts were Mathura, there is Mathura, Jhansi, Hathras, and few like Kanpur, Orai. These kind of districts were there. 670. 2,500 people were to be deployed, and government gave us the order on 29th of March, and they asked us that if you want, because there is a lockdown across the country. The lockdown just started on 24th of March, I believe, 23rd or 24th March, and that if you want, we can extend it. We can just cancel the order, and it may go to the previous people would be continuing with the services, and after the lockdown we'll see it again. So my people, they came, they just contacted me that what should we do? We shall hold it, and we shall say no to them, because in lockdown there was no possibility of coming out of the house and to hire people. That too, almost semi-skilled and skilled people, in the power sector, power distribution, lineman, and those grid management people, substation maintenance people, all those people were there in all these areas of UP. But somehow I said, no, we will do it. We have some time to do it. So we started doing it. We got a portal made from our IT team that was being launched on our website, and we just circulated the message across those districts, and many people applied. Some 12,000 plus people applied for those 2,500 postings, and you won't believe, it's beyond my imagination. In 25 days, we completed the process of interviewing them online, then getting them selected, then onboarding agreements and other things you might be aware about whole this process. And it wouldn't have been possible if the lockdown is not there. People would have expected us to visit each and every place. They would be talking to us. The physical interviews would have been just a lot of time wastage, money wastage, travels, and so many other, those all kind of sfarish or subjects. And it was successfully being done. They appreciated us. So we tried to convert this pandemic, which majority of the people, they considered it as a loss, into an opportunity. I always spoke to my people, and we always discussed that if we convert this into an opportunity, because my customers, they are calling for meetings. If you go to a customer meeting, that too in a government department, they keep you waiting maybe for hours together. Here, sir, meeting is not possible, so we do it on video calling, and everything was possible, and we did everything. There was one more project at Ladakh. It was full. This area was completely COVID hotspot, but those people were so aggressive, energetic. They wanted some consultancy services in terms of human resource management system, and it was being launched, and now it is functional. And everything was being done in the lockdown period. So I believe, according to me, it's always better that you should try to contribute whatsoever is possible in your hands, other than to take it like just thinking that somebody will support us, somebody will help. I never asked the government to support us. My suggestion to the government, in case somebody takes it from me, that just try to revive the industry. Try to speak to industry. Don't give them some freebies or something like that. We don't need any rebates. If the industry is functional, we'll take care of the employees, we'll take care of the migrant labor and everything, which is the problems which is actually coming. What the government, because if you give free things to a person, you can give for one day, maybe for a month, maybe for a couple of months. But the industry is going to take care of the government as well, the workers, for throughout the life, and also these people. So this is kind of a team, The best thing is which now the government has actually coming out with good ideas. They have permitted the industry, they are supporting the industry. And that is how actually this labor issue, this unemployment issue, when you say that unemployment is going to be 23%, why it is going to be? Because industry is closed. But just imagine a situation, once we are back, like we are back, we are coming back, then we are going to come out of this. We are going to forget these 2 to 3 months. I'm telling you, one of my friends who is an industrialist, he called me a couple of days back. He said, "Bhai, Deepak, my industry is going to close for at least 1 year." Who said this to you? He said, "No, I'm reading this in the newspaper." He said, "No, don't do this." Why it would happen? He was in the automobile industry. He said, "Abhi, ट्रक्स नहीं बिकेंगे, ट्रक्स नहीं बिकेंगे तो मेरा सामान जो ऑटो पार्ट्स है वो नहीं बने जाएगा, वो नहीं जाएगा तो मैं मैन्युफैक्चर नहीं करूंगा, तो आई हैव फ्यू पीपल, आई एम गोइंग टू lay them off. I told him that who says that ट्रक नहीं बिकेंगे? ट्रक नहीं बिकने का क्या कारण हुआ, मुझे समझ में नहीं आया। क्या कंट्री में लोग कम हो गए हैं जिनका डिमांड कम हो जाएगा? सिर्फ 2 महीने के लिए अगर आमदन कम हो गई लोगों के पास में, तो इसका मतलब डिमांड कम नहीं, हम उसको हैंडल करेंगे। तो आप मैंने का हौसला रखिए और another couple of months you will be functioning at 100% speed and don't lay off your people, talk to them, let's have a beach ka rasta. And you won't believe now, just he's very confident and I'm sure he कल ही उन्होंने मुझे रात को एक चीज शेयर करी कि I am expecting some order from one of my client. This is going to happen. Indian economy has very, it is something, Indian economy has, your Indian people, they have a tendency to bounce back. When generally people say that when the economy comes down, it would be like a U-curve, economy will come down, then it will remain like this for a period, for a longer period, then it will revive. So this is going to be a U, But let me tell you about Indian economy. It is like a V. It will come back, but it will go. It will not remain there. I'm telling you. Just believe me. And don't be afraid of all these things that there would be unemployment, there would be no jobs. No, this is not. We are hiring. You can see our website. We are hiring. Might be many people might have laid off. So, negative news, it travels fast. If there are 5 lakh companies or say 1 million companies, 10 lakh companies in a country, and out of those 10 lakh companies, if 10 companies or say 100 companies, they lay off few employees, the newspaper or the TV channels, they or the social media, thanks to WhatsApp. I believe there is some disturbance. Okay. Shall I continue?
Yeah, sir. Please continue.
So, how can you just take those data as those people who are taking? I am from industry, so I know there is no. I am from service industry in particular. Let me tell you, Professor Sharma, he spoke very well about the service industry, and he also emphasized on the need to revive the service industry, and as it is going to be an important, important participant in the GDP. So let me tell you about the industry. Couple of, say 1 week ago, I am into saloon industry as well. So we have that saloon industry that is with Unilever. 1 week ago, we were not even imagining that saloons would open. We were thinking that it would open in the month of October, November. So forget about that. Now everything is coming out. We are opening. Customers are calling us. We are having those PPE kits. We are maintaining social distancing. We are going to take all the precautions, and customer is going to come. And I'm sure within the month of May only, the saloons in Punjab, and in Panchkula, I'm sure this is going to revive. So as far as the service industry is concerned, when you say hospitality industry, like why it is reviving, because we are giving confidence to the customer. First of all, we go to the salon. We went to the salon. We sanitize it. We got the fogging done. We got the sprays done. Then we click those photographs. We sent it to the clients. Now clients are very comfortable. They say, fine, wonderful. Now we would like to come. If any hotel or if anything, if they give confidence to the clients, it is going to happen. May not be in the international travel, but of course, domestic travel, it is opening. It is shortly we are going to revive, and the trains are going to run. Everything is coming out. Just give 15 more days, and you will try forgetting this corona. I'm telling you, all of you. As far as the education system is concerned, this COVID, this whole process, this is going to fundamentally change the way we live, the way we, socialize, way we talk, the way we work. It is going to change. But how? Not negatively, I'm telling you. Rather positively. Before this COVID thing, I used to work and I used to find out that how many, like I always used to think I need to do some gardening, कोई किताब भी पढ़नी है, मित्रों से बात करनी है, हम उसको नहीं कर पाते थे. इस दौरान मैंने महसूस किया कि हमने सब कुछ किया, काम भी किया, 6 से 7 घंटे का काम भी किया, फोन पे, वेबिनार से जैसे हुआ काम भी किया, कुछ घर में अगर मान लीजिए नवरात्रे चल रहे हैं तो उनका पूजन भी किया, एज वेल कुछ गार्डन में कुछ फूल लगे हैं वो भी किए, घर के काम भी खुद किए क्योंकि सपोर्ट सिस्टम कम था कंपैरेटिवली. बहुत मित्रों से भी बात हुई, गुरुओं से बात हुई, और उसके अतिरिक्त कुछ बुक्स पढ़ी, कुछ टीवी सीरीज भी देखी, खाना भी बनाया. अरे तो जब मैंने अपने ऑफिस में लोगों को बताया कि इतना टाइम कैसे निकाला, मैंने कहा असल में फिजूल का काम नहीं हुआ इस बार, सारे काम के काम हुए. जैसे कि बहुत सारी चीजें ऐसी हम लोग करते हैं जो फिजूल के, इसने और अकल दी कोविड ने. We learned a lot that let's do very concrete constructive work. And of course technology is going to play a very important role. If anybody out of you is not aware about the technology, how to use the technology, please learn it. It may be from your university courses or maybe some other online courses. Technology driven things are going to happen, I'm telling you. This is in this time of crisis, a well-rounded, effective educational practice, which is this, it is needed at this time, I'm telling you. We are going to build the capacity. So all the things which government has done, the government has given us so many benefits. We have heard that they are talking about Atmanirbhar Bharat. You know, what do you mean by Atmanirbhar Bharat? Atmanirbhar Bharat means we are going to do many things in the country itself. They are going to open many government things for the private sector. When private sector enters, like airports, they are going to privatize. The services are going to improve. As well, when the coal mines, they are going to open it for the general public. You know, I can also buy, you can also buy.
Sir, your video has stopped due to some reason.
Wait for a moment. Just
Yes,
wait for
sir.
a moment, please.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I believe there was some technical glitch.
Yes, sir.
Now, can you hear me?
No issue.
Yeah,
Yes,
sir.
It
Now
is
it is.
audible.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, please carry on, sir.
Yeah. So, according to me, we need to be positive. We need not to be afraid of this pandemic. We are thankful. You know, a country where 130 करोड़ लोगों के देश में आज सिर्फ 60,000 एक्टिव केसेस हैं. मैं तो इसको इस तरह से पढ़ता हूं. आप मान के चलिए, या लगभग मुझे पूरा अंदाजा नहीं है, शायद में भी some 3,000 प्लस ही लोग ऐसे हैं जिनका नुकसान हुआ है. तो इसका मतलब क्या हुआ? The government, our people, our teams, our doctors, and we all are actually, we have fought with it, and and we are going to win over this. And इसको जीतेंगे कैसे? जीतेंगे हौसले से, बुलंद हौसले से जीतेंगे हम लोग। इसको जीत रहे हैं, we are already fighting. इतने बड़े कंट्री में we were afraid, you know, when it started we were afraid because our country, it was, health facilities were not there, adequate health facilities. We were afraid. But you know, somehow, I don't know how, we are lucky enough. कहते हैं हमारे देश में भगवान को सब ज्यादा मानते हैं, तो maybe that may be the reason. So God has been kind enough to all of us that this has not spread as it should have been, as it could have been rather. So it is just note that lockdown right now, many people who are in lockdown is only a physical barrier, and the reins of our mind and creativity, they are still on the loose. Is a nation that is in the lockdown, not our minds. We can do so many things. I heard many people, you know, they were writing good things. They were doing some good courses. So we'll do. For the faculties members, we can upskill ourselves. For the students, in case they are there, because yes, for the research scholars, please don't be afraid of that some kind of unemployment is going to happen. No, this is not going to happen. This may have couple of more months. This may take couple of more months to actually come back to its original position. It will come back. The travel, it is going to happen. The tourism, it is going to happen. All the industry, I'm looking at the industry's perspective, it is going to happen. There is no reason that the economy, there is no reason that we will not revive, you know. It is going to revive. We need to live, and we need to forget about it, and we need to come out with good ideas, better ideas, and also to reduce our travel costs. Now working from home, it is going to be a new normal, you know. And I am also going to, we are also going to advertise certain posts we have planned now, which will reduce our costs. Say earlier, let us say we were paying 100 rupees for an X job. Now we may pay 80 rupees, but for a work from home option, you know, the employee is also happy and we too. It reduces our workspace. So this is something. और इस वक्त की मेरी एडवाइस यही है, मेरे सबको यही, this is what I say, अपना पैसा और समय दोनों ध्यान से खर्च करिए. These are the two very important things which one should have. पैसा और समय, इसको ध्यान से खर्च करना है. यही अपनी एसेट है, इसको ही हम बचा के रखेंगे. That's what I need to say. Majority of the things I agree with Professor Sharma. So he said many things about, you know, as far as the salaries and other things. Yes, I am hearing many news about the salaries. There is a conflict about, you know, the employee should be paid or not, and this and that. The government issued few guidelines that yes, they should be paid. Now Supreme Court says that, you know, this is a confusion. Let me tell you, when जब भी क्राइसिस होते हैं, घर के अंदर में मुसीबत होती है, दुख होती है, तकलीफ होती है, तो क्या करना चाहिए? हमें लड़ाई करनी चाहिए या सबको मिल बैठ करके उसका सोल्यूशन निकाल लेना चाहिए? मेरे ख्याल में हम सब यही मानेंगे कि उसका मिल बैठ करके सोल्यूशन निकाल लेना चाहिए, क्योंकि एक तो बाहर से क्राइसिस आ रहा है, बाहर से हमला हो रहा है, और दूसरा अपने घर में बैठ करके अपनी लड़ाई करना शुरू करते हैं, तो कोई समझदारी वाली बात नहीं है. When this, you know, I have more than 15,000 people directly working with me on my roles. So I had a burden of 15,000 plus families on my head. I was burdened. But by God's grace, 2,000, except 2,800 people, rest of the people were working. You know, they were working in power sector, they were working in health sector, UNDP we are working, they were working. The people who are there at airports and all, 2,800 people, they were not working, but they were on rolls. So it was a big challenge for me. I could not imagine that how to pay them. I could not even calculate. That was a huge amount. You know, paying to one person, it becomes tough if there's no work. Paying to 2,800 people who were without work and also on your rolls. Can you just imagine? I thought, मैंने अपने घर में, उन्होंने सोचा, मुझे बहुत लोगों ने मैसेज किए, मुझे indirectly through HR or through other functionaries, senior people, कि don't worry, company has given us a lot and company will give us a lot. in this time, if they don't pay us, it's okay, we will manage. Tell them, take care of the company. मैंने अपने लोगों को मैसेज किया, अपने लोगों को कि tell people, don't worry, they have given me a lot earlier, they will give me a lot in the future, I will take care of them. It was such a good situation. Otherwise, I was worried, you know. It was not about law and other things. It was about taking care of my people. It was about that if they don't have food and things for their house, then how will? लेकिन ऐसा अच्छा चीज हुई कि वो सामने से ऑफर कर रहे हैं कि हमें आप नहीं देंगे तो दिक्कत नहीं है सर, बहुत दिया है, बहुत आगे से भी लेंगे, और मैं सामने से ऑफर कर रहा हूं कि अगर आपने 1 महीना 2 महीने काम नहीं किया तो क्या दिक्कत है, आपने पहले बहुत किया है, आगे भी करेंगे। हमने मिल बैठ करके उसका बहुत अच्छे तरीके निकाल लिया, जिसको जो चाहिए था उसको वो मिल गया, कंपनी को भी बहुत परेशानी नहीं हुई। जो सीनियर्स लोग थे, सीनियर्स थे, उन्होंने अपने चीजों को काट करके पैसों को, जो एक्चुअली में उन्होंने पूरा काम भी किया था, कुछ कंट्रीब्यूट किया, कुछ कंपनी ने कंट्रीब्यूट किया, जो लोग थे उनका पैसा कम बहुत अच्छे हमने रास्ते निकाले, बहुत सुंदर, क्योंकि लड़ाई तो समझदारी नहीं थी, और उनके उस कॉन्फिडेंस की वजह से दैट्स व्हाई वी केम बैक, we resumed the industry, and I have given the confidence to many of my industry's friends to resume the industry, and they have, because once the industry is resumed, the problem of migrant labor, the problem of taxes to the government, the problem of unemployment, this is going to go. That is the only solution. So I end here. I thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. Be bold, be strong, stay safe, stay at home, keep working, don't sit idle, don't be panic. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Wonderful thoughts.
Thank you so much, sir, for your encouraging words on how to look at the opportunities rather than creating a hype about the situation. You really is a ray of hope that how we should not panic too much about this coronavirus 2019. Now coming to the questions of our attendees, the first question is how the demand and supply of
sorry, can you repeat? I think
there is maybe managed. The question is how the demand and supply of capital goods may be managed in order to boost the industrial production.
As far as the capital, I don't think there would be any impact on the capital goods as far as the industry is concerned. However, the movement, the restriction of as this lockdown is being opened up, because we'll have the real demand. As of now, we cannot gauge the demand. We cannot calculate the demand. Industry has its own apprehensions. Industry calculates, you know, that if people are apprehensive. I was talking to one of the industrialists who is working for JCB. JCB, they were into bigger asset management, infrastructural instruments. So they cancelled all their orders, apprehending that we won't be having enough time, enough demand in the recent times. But as the things are opening up, you know, they are now creating a pipeline for themselves. They have again started giving them orders. They are again creating an inventory so that once the market is open, then they should not miss the bus. So I'm sure demand and supply, it is not going to be an issue in the near future. It is going to be the same in the as it was there in the earlier times. This is what I think.
Thank you, sir, for your answer. The other question is how social distancing will affect the industrial performance after this pandemic, as it will not be in the state to do the operational activities as it was doing before.
Of course, it is a very valid question. Let me tell you, this is going to impact us in terms of where the large production is happening. Let me give you an example of a call center. A call center where earlier the floor plan was of 2 feet, 2 feet, 2 feet, you know, they were sitting very closely. Now, in a floor of some 2,500 square feet, there were around 100 plus people, they were sitting. Now it is not possible. This is going to affect the cost. Now we need to manage in shifts, because if the call center is supporting, let's say UK, the timeline is also limited. So this is going to impact. But I am sure, again, as per my earlier statement, this will not be for a longer period. See, now the market is open, everything is open. No, people are getting stronger day by day. Earlier, they were not talking. When I used to offer tea in my office to my colleagues, they were afraid when I saw them in the beginning. Now they ask for tea. So it's coming out of our mind. And we need to, again, social distancing is up to a certain level, it is good. Again, there are many instruments coming. Now if you keep a what you call a sanitizer at the reception area, or if there are defoggers, if there are now kits available, so people are now getting used to all these things. So I'm sure this is not going to stay for a longer period, this distancing wala thing. People are going to take precautions. People are going, and of course, if you get a vaccine that people are claiming, many countries, maybe in a month or so, then this is going to get over. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for showing us a bigger picture and answering the questions of our attendees. Now, I feel pleased to welcome our speaker, Dr. Ajay Sharma. It is a privilege having you here, sir. Before proceeding further, I would like to share a brief profile of Professor Ajay Sharma. Professor Ajay Sharma, principal of Sri Aurobindo College of Commerce and Management, is an educator par excellence, a learned academician, and an astute leader. He firmly believes that a good teacher is better than 1,000 priests, and a good educational institution is better than 1,000,000 shrines. Dr. Ajay Sharma, a recipient of varied state and national awards of excellence, has a rich teaching experience of more than 2 decades. He has authorized a number of books and research papers with national and international publications. Professor Ajay Sharma specializes in GST, finance, and taxation. He is certainly an academician to reckon with. So now, I welcome Professor Ajay Sharma to kindly share his views on today's event.
अजय जी प्लीज अपनी वीडियो ऑन कर लो.
अनम्यूट कर लें सर.
Ajay ji, we are able to see your screen. You can start the slideshow and unmute yourself. हाँ जी, वॉइस नहीं आ रही थोड़ी ना.
Let's wait for a few minutes. There must be some technical issue.